Hey everybody, Brian Bauman from Bauman's Farm and Garden. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribing to our channel. We have a whole bunch of new people, so I wanted to take a second to show you one of the many greenhouses. We now have over 25 of these greenhouses on the farm. All of them are filled with some amazing plants. We're located in Jervis, Oregon, just south of Portland. We're in Zone AA, and I've been doing this for a while, my whole life. I always tell people, it's funny because my degree's in accounting. Growing up as a kid, I wanted nothing to do with plants. And then as I grew up and I started getting older, like they just kind of called to me. This is just something that I love. It's something that I love coming to work every day and seeing all the new plants. And I am generation number 4. My kids are generation number 5. My family's been around here since 1895. We've been farming. And I feel like I'm so lucky because there's so much wisdom that's passed down from generation to generation. And I love sharing all that. I love bringing you all of those really cool things. And it's one of the reasons at Bauman's why we choose to partner with Proven Winners. At the end of the day, it's all about choosing plants that you are going to be successful with at home. And each year I spend a lot of time going through not only Proven Winners, but companies from all over the world, trying to find the best plants. And Proven Winners consistently has some of those best plants. And this year they have several new introductions. I want to kind of take a minute, show you some of them. All of them are just becoming available at the farm, and it's just in time because April 11th and 12th is GardenPalooza. GardenPalooza is like this street fair on steroids that's all focused on gardening. From nurseries to garden art to informational booths, from the Oregon Gardens to the Rose Society, like there are so many different people that are going to be here all in one location. At Bauman's, we know how to throw events. There is going to be thousands of people here, but don't worry, we are super good at parking. We are super good at making you having a great time with live music and food. It's phenomenal. But back to the plants. Proven Winners is so much fun to have the newest and greatest plants. And this year is no exception. Check it out. This is their brand new Rockapoco Impatient Rose. Bright color. I love when you're looking for a plant for the shade. I want something that's really going to stand out and brighten up that shady porch or patio for a container. You can put it in the ground. It works fantastic for that. And I trialed it last year and it bloomed nonstop all summer long. Beautiful. Did great in the shade. I would say it doesn't like afternoon sun. Some morning sun is fine, but definitely not afternoon sun. And not only does Proven Winners have new plants, but they have some new products and kind of ways of doing things. And they introduced that this year. It's a brand new product from them. It's called a 30-second planter. The idea behind this is that I craft a great combination. This one is featuring that Rockapoco Rose Impatient with their brand new Coleus Chartreuse Mini-Me, some Creeping Golden Jenny coming out the side, and Queen Tut Papyrus coming out the center. I put all these together, I grow them in this wonderful pot from Proven Winners that you can take this and set it right in the top of your, maybe you have a pot on your front porch. You can set this right in there, boom, you're done. You can also, these are kind of grown so that you could put them in the ground. You could put it on top of the pot and watch. You can see it's got all these roots all ready to go. I would just kind of rough up these roots a little bit so we get it down into the soil. We can take this, put this right at the top in your planter at home. You could put it in the ground in your flower beds. You have a custom designed container with all these plants that are gonna grow together and be amazing, and you're done in 30 seconds. We have a whole bunch of these different combos. I just thought this one was cool, featuring the rose, Rockapoco Rose. Come on out. There's a lot of new plants from Proven Winners this year. Each year when Proven Winners comes out with new plants, it's always exciting, like seeing new colors. But these are a brand new flower type. So this is Star Diva Scaevola. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if you've never heard of Scaevola before, but one, check out all those colors. Like beautiful, bright, wonderful colors. And Scaevola a lot of times was called fan flower because the flower was in the shape of a fan, and it had like these long runners that would come out, and it would have fans along the runners, but it was never the star of the show. It was always just kind of a supporting cast where you'd have petunias or calibrachoas, and you had this Scaevola kind of coming in and out and around. Beautiful, really great. I used it all the time, but it's not something you would walk by on a flower bench and go, wow. And then Proven Winners comes out with these. So unlike the fan flower, traditional fan flower, these are star flowered. So they have these beautiful open kind of stars. And when I say that, and you kind of zoom in there and see it, the flowers are much fuller, much more, they stand out a lot more than the traditional Scaevola. And the other thing that makes these ones so different and exciting is that their sheer flower power. Like they're covered in flowers. They almost look like a ground cover or a mass kind of spillowing out the side of a container or a hanging basket. I've spent a lot this year. I trialed them last year, loved them. In fact, out of all the new introductions we had from Proven Winners, the few samples that we had out, these garnered the most attention. Petunias are great, right? And we have some new petunias I want to show you, but these Star Divas were so different. They really stand out. I think they're going to be great in a container. I think they're going to pair well with a number of different plants that they're going to keep up with. They're definitely not as vigorous as your traditional Scaevola, but we have the pink, we have the blue, and we have the white, all three of them in stock. And I think this plant is really worth your effort to try and pair it with some stuff throughout the summer. I'd love to hear what you are going to pair it with and which flowers you think are going to do well. Full sun to part shade, should bloom nonstop all summer long, very few pests. These are definitely Proven Winners. I would love to introduce you to Aeromagica. What a cool name for such a sweet smelling plant. This is a heliotrope. I love heliotrope. It has a wonderful sweet fragrance, takes full sun to part shade, and this is a new introduction for Proven Winners for 2025. The thing that really stands out about this is its bloom power all summer long. I want to tell you a little story about heliotrope. We used to plant heliotrope all along our front walkway at our house, and my mom always yelled at me because she told me heliotrope's not for full sun, it burns. And here's one of the things I found with heliotrope. It does not like to dry out. If it dries out in the hot sun, it'll burn. It really wants to have a consistent moisture. So put this in a pot or a planter somewhere that maybe is on an automatic watering, drip system, sprinkler system. Drip system would work best. And that's when you're gonna have the most success, I think, with this heliotrope. But if you're looking for a sweet smelling annual that's gonna bloom nonstop all summer long, bada bing, this is your answer. This is another plant that's going to bloom nonstop all summer long from Proven Winners. This is Salvia Unplugged White. It's the new addition to their Unplugged series. Salvia is such a great plant for all of the hummingbird attractors, pollinator attractors, butterflies. It's wonderful for that. If you're looking for a nice spike of color coming up through the center of a pot or container, Salvia is going to be a great answer. Super easy to care for, does not have a lot of pest problems, doesn't take as much fertilizer as say petunias or calibrachoas do, nonstop blooms. I think white is an interesting name for it. I would almost call it Unplugged Silver. To me, it has more of a silvery kind of hue to it, but it's beautiful. I've paired it with several blues and purples I think are great. This is going to be a wonderful annual, blooms nonstop all summer, attracts pollinators. What's not to love? Last but certainly not least, in the new introductions for Proven Winners for 2025 is their brand new petunias for this year. Petunias are such a huge part of all the color that we use at Bauman Farms because they have such flower power. And these two for this year are no exceptions to that rule. The first one here is Blue Tiara, and it gets its name from its pretty blue flowers and then that white halo in the center. Here's the story. There is Blue Tiara and there's Pink Tiara, and they're very different in terms of their growth habit. I've done some combos putting them together, and the hanging baskets here are great examples. You can see from this Blue Tiara, It's pretty compact. Smaller flowers, but lots of them coming on. It's just starting to bloom. I paired this one with Super Bell's Over Easy and a dark verbena. Really pretty combination. This one really speaks to me. This is my color palette in a nutshell. Really excited about it. Now, pink tiara is a totally different animal. Look at this. So this, you can see, look how trailing the pink tiara is. I would definitely go through and give these a little pinch in order to get them to kind of fill out a little more. The flower is very similar size, has that white halo in the center of it, but much more, when I look at the growth habit, it'll go straight across the basket or container and down. It's gonna bloom nonstop all along that. Really pretty foliage, but it's definitely very vigorous, and it's definitely gonna go straight across and down. So for example, in this container combo that I have here, I have an osteosperm coming up through the center. This is gonna be white. It's just starting to open to kind of keep the center of the combo filled in, because pink tiara is gonna trail right down the side and I'd have nothing in the center. There's also a calibrachoa in here that's a nice blue, which I think pairs really, really nice with that pink flower with a little bit of white to kind of tie that tiara all together. I think they're gonna be amazing. Both of them are gonna bloom nonstop all summer long. They're going to give you that huge flower power that you need, and they're gonna want as much sun as possible. At least 6 to 8 hours of sun a day. Afternoon sun is great. Morning sun, what I find is they kind of stretch and look for the light. So that's where I really kind of pinch them back a little bit to keep them a little fuller. To get them looking their absolute best, I would put it in as much sun as possible. Keep the water on it, fertilize it at least once a week with Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer, which we have here at the nursery. It's going to keep all of your annuals looking really good nonstop all summer long. Bauman Farms is a huge fan of Proven Winners. We love partnering with Proven Winners because it's all about finding the plants that you are going to be successful with at home. This year, you'll find a huge lineup of all their brand new 2025 introductions, plus a ton of other Proven Winner plants at Bauman Farms. April 11th and 12th is GardenPalooza. It's coming up right around the bend. You're not going to want to miss it, but we will have these Proven Winner annuals all spring and throughout the summer. Come on out to Bauman Farms and find your favorite Proven Winner plants.